Hello, and welcome to Shopify Partner Town Hall. I'm Sadia Latifi, Director of UX for Ecosystem. We couldn't achieve our mission to make commerce better for everyone without partners like you. Your creativity and innovation has helped millions of brands start, grow, and scale their business. So thank you. Hopefully by now, you've checked out our first ever Summer Editions. Editions is a biannual showcase of all the updates we've made to Shopify, from new products and services for merchants to new APIs and tools for partners. In today's town hall, we're going to share details on how we're making it more flexible and hopefully a little more fun to work with us. We're streaming on Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And just like last time, we're hoping that you join in the conversation. So during and after Town Hall, we'd love to hear from you. If you're a developer, check us out on our developer Discord community. And if you're a non-developer partner, meet us on our partner Slack. So here's the plan for today. We'll first show a video of just the latest and greatest from Editions, and then we'll jump into a live panel from key product leaders to learn more about the most important updates. There's an AMA too, so just take a second and submit your questions now via Slido or by scanning the QR code on the screen. Let's get started.
We've shipped over 100 updates to go all in on the connect-to-consumer era of commerce. Here's the top Editions updates for Shopify partners. As new online platforms gain popularity, new opportunities are opening up for merchants to connect with buyers. With Shopify Marketplace Kit, you have access to the APIs, tools, and resources required to seamlessly add commerce features to any existing platform or create an entirely new marketplace community. Shopify Audiences helps find high-intent buyers and increases the likelihood of conversions. Agency partners can now use Shopify Audiences to help Plus merchants with one of their biggest pain points, finding new customers who are ready to buy. Ready to find new customers for your clients? Check store eligibility and get started. We're making lead submissions and sales cycles simpler and more transparent with new lead tracking tools. You can now view, sort, and track Shopify Plus and POS Pro leads in your partner dashboard. Receive real-time email notifications on updates to your leads and get in touch with the Shopify sales rep assigned to your leads easily. Check out the Referrals tab of your partner dashboard today for greater visibility into earning revenue share for your referrals. Businesses need flexible payment and fulfillment options. We've added new capabilities to the Selling Plans APIs that allow for deferred payment collection and deposits. Deliver more robust app offerings to the businesses you work with when you support new selling plans like pre-orders and try before you buy. Deliver analytical experiences for your clients with minimal effort. The GraphQL Admin API lets you directly query Shopify's analytical data so you can generate business insights without dealing with data transformation. We've introduced several new features to make theme development better. With app-owned meta fields, read and write access is restricted to your application and is accessible through the Liquid App object within your theme app extensions, making it possible to design conditional app logic for different plan levels. Quickly format your code with our new Prettier plugin. Additionally, we've redesigned Liquid References to get you started quickly with themes. We're shipping changes to help you build apps that last, with secure access to the data you need. In the 2022-10 release, APIs will redact customer personal data by default and allow you to apply for necessary access to customer personal data throughout the life of your app. These changes enable your app to support a business's path toward compliance with privacy and data protection rules. Reach new businesses with our expanded B2B functionality built directly into the core of Shopify. Our new APIs, now in developer preview, provide better ways to connect with wholesale customers, with new primitives like business customers, price lists, and assigned payment terms. Customize native Shopify features to meet unique business needs. Built on our infrastructure, Shopify Functions can scale up to handle global sales events while still executing code in under 5 milliseconds. Now in developer preview, Checkout extensibility is uniquely designed to be secure, fast, and upgrade safe, while seamlessly working with Shop Pay, the best converting checkout on the internet. Leverage checkout UI extensions and Shopify Functions to surface new functionality. Checkout Branding API to customize styling, and Pixels to track events. Exclusively deploy for Plus merchants by custom app or through the Shopify App Store. Now in general availability. Build fast, headless storefronts with a React-based framework built by Shopify for Shopify. From pre-built components and starter templates to hooks and utilities that map directly to Shopify's APIs, Hydrogen gives you the tooling you need to accelerate development. Once you're ready to launch, deploy your site directly to the edge with Oxygen, our global hosting solution that's just a simple git push away. Build for Shopify includes new standards and app design guidelines with clear components and visuals for building a great app. Apps that meet all the criteria of a well-designed app are eligible for special merchandising and preferential placement in the App Store. Your apps get more visibility, and business owners get access to the best commerce apps available. Make sure to check out shopify.com/editions to learn about all the incredible updates announced. Now, let's go to our live panel and AMA to go into more detail on some of our biggest updates. Over to you, folks.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to Shopify's Partner Town Hall. Today, we're going to be talking about some important updates that we just shared as part of Shopify Editions Summer 2022. My name is David Molenkamp. I am a director of product at Shopify, and my team personally has been focused on one of these new updates built for Shopify. I'm excited to share a lot more about that and about how we've introduced new guidelines, standards, and tools to help you, our partners and developers, build the best apps possible for merchants. But before we get to that, I'm joined by three colleagues who I'll ask to introduce themselves now. Over to you, Molly.
Thank you, David. Hi, everybody. My name is Molly Sun. I'm a product lead working on Shopify Checkout, and I'm looking forward to sharing more about checkout extensibility today.
Hi, everyone. My name is David Cameron. I'm a product lead, and I'm going to share with you some of the developments on Shopify Functions and the capabilities we're bringing to discounts and more.
And I'm Ben Sale, product lead working on Hydrogen and Oxygen, and I'm excited to share more on how we're making it possible to build even more incredible commerce experiences, as well as chat about some of these other updates with my colleagues.
Awesome. So we're going to start off with a panel conversation, and then we'll switch to questions that have been submitted for the AMA. If we can't get through everything today, and there's a lot of questions, and we probably won't, we'll share answers to these questions in the Shopify community forums, so keep an eye out there for them. But kicking us off and getting started, David Cameron, DC, as we lovingly refer to him internally. Can you share a little bit about Shopify Functions? What is it? Why did we build it? And what can our partner community do with it?
Yeah, great question. So Shopify Functions allows partners to extend Shopify platform and their features in a way that's never been possible before. I think historically, there's always been this kind of trade-off between flexibility and performance. If we give something that's flexible, usually that results in needing to make an external API call because we can't host that logic ourselves. Obviously, that tends to slow things down. On the other hand, if we want to optimize for speed, usually that requires partners to deliver all of that data to us. With Shopify Functions, I think we get the best of both worlds here. Now, partners can deploy that code to Shopify, and we can execute that with their own logic and behavior embedded inside of that code while still seeing the performance of our high throughput buyer checkout experiences.
Cool. So what type of customizations, what kind of things can you actually do with that, now and possibly in the future?
Yeah, great question. So right now, we're in a developer preview. We've released 3 new APIs for discounts. So you can create new order and product and shipping discounts. We're actively working on releasing shipping and payment APIs. But I think the way to want to think about this is there's a number of places inside of Shopify where we have a default algorithm. Any place that there's kind of this opportunity where lots of variability, those are the places that we're really looking to extend over the coming months and years, and really looking for the community feedback as to what are those areas of unlocked potential.
Tell me more a little bit about how it actually works. Like, what's the tech under the covers that's actually like powering a lot of this? Because I think that's an interesting story as well.
Yeah, so the tech that we've really made a bet on is WebAssembly here. And so what that allows is any developer to write their code in whatever language they want, that then compiles down to WebAssembly. And this really gives us the performance and security characteristics that we're looking for. So you write that code locally on your machine, you make a WebAssembly file, and then you upload that to Shopify. And what's great about that is then we execute that on our infrastructure all around the world at scale. And so you don't have to worry about all of the flash sales happening across the world. We'll look after that for you.
Okay, great. So I'm a developer, I'm a partner, and I've gone ahead and built with functions. How do merchants get these sort of customizations in their stores?
Yeah, so just like any other kind of Shopify app, the way that functions work is that they're attached to an app. They're bundled as part of an app, as part of an extension. And so when an app is installed on the store, it becomes available in context. So inside of discounts, you'll see these opportunities to create new discount types. So as a merchant, you'll just go to the App Store looking for, in this case, an example would be a discount app. When you install that discount app, new capabilities will just show up inside your store.
Nice. And anything else you want to talk about what's coming next, what the team has sort of on the roadmap?
Yeah, so shipping and payment APIs are kind of immediately kind of up next, making it possible for you to customize the shipping rates and also the payment options that will show up in checkout. Beyond that, areas like order routing, return space, I think there's a lot of opportunities here, and you're going to see a lot more of those things come out over the next 6 to 12 months.
Awesome. Sounds great. Okay, so let's turn to one of our other updates, and that's checkout extensibility. Now, we all know checkout is incredibly important for our merchants. It's that key stage in the shopping experience when a buyer commits to that decision to buy and what they're buying, how they're buying it, and where it's actually going. A positive experience at checkout can turn this one-time customer into a lifetime customer. So Molly, tell us a little bit about what we've introduced at checkout for checkout at Editions.
Yeah, of course. So for the first time, we're extending the power of checkout with flexible customizations deployed through custom apps or the Shopify App Store. Checkout extensibility is now available in developer preview and was designed to be secure, fast, and upgrade safe. We've shaped checkout UI extensions so that you can surface new functionalities like product offers and custom fields. Apps built with checkout UI extensions are now exclusively available to Plus merchants. We also shipped checkout branding API for merchants to customize styling and pixels to track events.
Awesome. Very cool. So how does this work with something like Shop Pay? And what does this allow merchants to do?
Yeah, so we're enabling customization for Shop Pay also for the first time with checkout extensibility. Now using Shop Pay, merchants not only get a 4 times faster checkout, a 11% higher conversion than any other accelerated checkout and wallets, the ability to let their customer pay over time, boosting their average order value by up to 50% with Shop Pay installments. Merchants can also now customize their Shop Pay to meet their specific needs.
Great, cool. All right, so it's in developer preview. How can our partners get started? Where should they go if they have questions or feedback that they have on the product?
Yeah, so for developers, please go ahead and create a new development store within your partner account. Make sure that you have checkout UI extensions developer preview enabled when you create your development store, and also populate your store with products. And then you can go ahead and create your checkout app using Shopify CLI 3.0. Go ahead and check out our developer document in shopify.dev for more details. And we welcome you to share your feedback in our community discussions in GitHub. Also, there's going to be a developer office hour that's coming up this Thursday on June 30th from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern in Discord. There will be more office hours coming up. We welcome you to join us.
Great. Well, why don't we talk a little bit more about hydrogen and oxygen? So Ben, we're now in general availability. What does this actually mean for partners if they want to build custom storefront experiences?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So since November, when we launched a developer preview, we've been building in public. It's 100% open source, Hydrogen anyway, and so been having a lot of great conversations since that time, just getting feedback and really working through all the kinks. If you haven't checked us out since then, we've shipped so many new features, things notoriously missing from headless, like Shopify Analytics are working. We have a customer accounts built in. There's a whole new demo store with virtually everything that you get from Liquid. So really exciting there. And what GA means for us really is just stable APIs. And if you've been holding off, I think it's a great time to go in and check it out. But still rapidly improving and really keen to get your feedback. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Can you talk a little bit more about like Oxygen? What is that actually?
Yeah, so Oxygen's been in beta up until now and finally available for all Plus merchants. If you're checking it out, you can go into your sales channels and add what's called the Hydrogen channel. And what we host that on is Oxygen. And so Oxygen is a global edge network where we can deploy your Hydrogen apps. It's exclusively for Hydrogen. Right now, it's exclusive to Plus, but we do plan on rolling it out to standard and advanced plans in the coming months. What's amazing is it's bundled right in with your plan, so there's not another fee. I think for partners, what's huge here is having ran an agency myself and having also built headless myself in the past, that handoff to the merchant and having to have the maintenance of always going in and rebooting the server or whatever, checking all those sorts of vitals, not something you have to worry about anymore. So just being able to sleep well, not have to do the pager duty thing is fantastic. And it's really just super easy. It's built right into GitHub. It's all done through GitHub Actions in terms of the CI/CD stuff and all that sort of thing too. So really, really simple and just meant to sort of take away all of that complexity of hosting, deployment, and scaling.
Cool. So we've talked a lot about like the technology, Hydrogen, Oxygen. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the experiences that you've seen kind of built out on it or are excited about?
Yeah. So what I really love about Hydrogen to me is that it's this catalyst for creativity. And what that means is, in the past, when you've gone headless, there's so much boilerplate that you have to build, right? You have to set up multi-pass for accounts and databases and security, and hundreds of hours go into setting up all this infrastructure. And so now by us doing a lot of that abstractions and taking away a lot of things that you don't want to build, you can now focus more of your time into the UX and what makes your brand really unique. And what we've seen there to date has been pretty amazing. We've had companies like Allbirds deploy new store locators that can find you anywhere in the world and get you all the nearest store near you, all the details and that sort of thing. With this really cool interactive map, we've had brands, small brands like Denim Tears do these really crazy 3D experiences, and we've seen a huge amount of experimentation with 3D, which has been really fun. So yeah, just when you have a set amount of hours that you're putting into a storefront, the more and more time that can go into the UX really means that you can get some engaging buyer experiences that really express your brand and connect with consumers in a meaningful way.
Cool. And then, we're now at GA. Sort of what's next for you?
Yeah, so there's so much more to go. I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg with where storefronts can be, what the full vision of them is. We're looking also in the long term beyond just the web, of course, as well. But really, we want to make it in the short term just super productive and performant to be building custom storefronts. And we really promised Hydrogen as this and headless overall with Shopify as this first class way of building custom storefronts. And I think there's a lot of room to invest there. We're really also keen on things like personalization as well. There's a lot of amazing things that we can do with these edge deployments that can give you both personalization, but without any trade-offs on performance. And so there's that side. And then we're also building with a ton of app partners. So for all the app developers looking at us, we're expanding that narrative as well and building some really great stuff there. So keen to build with you all and really just develop this hand in hand with the community.
Now, David, I'm going to pose a question back to you. We heard about Built for Shopify at Editions and also just now in the highlight videos. What does this mean for partners who are building apps?
Yeah, thanks. I think before to really answer that question, we have to go back to the reason why we've done Built for Shopify. And really it's about helping our community and helping our developer community and partners build the best commerce apps in the world and to build the best app ecosystem in the world for commerce. And that really means, providing the community with the tools and capabilities they need to succeed in actually doing that, right? Now, in practice, this means a few things. In practice, this means like if you've, in my experience in talking to a lot of the developers in the community, one of the things that's constantly been asked of us is like, tell us, be more opinionated on what good looks like, what you're after, what Shopify believes to be a great app. And so we've started to do this by documenting new guidelines that you've seen in the app design guidelines that talk about how to seamlessly integrate apps within the admin, how to increase the usability and the performance of these things to the merchant set. So yeah, that's a little bit about that.
Got it. So what are some of the new features or tools available to developers?
Yeah. So when we looked at this, one of the things that became clear is that there were certain things that we had access to inside of Shopify that would be incredibly valuable for the developer community to themselves have access so that they could provide amazing experiences. And so there's really three main things we've done within this latest editions release that are really important to call out. The first is pinning, so app pinning, so making it so that an app can actually be pinned into the left-hand side nav of Shopify, making apps that are embedded into that experience sort of like always available, at a quick access when needed by merchants. Along with that, moving the navigation, so anybody using the AppBridge navigation menu components, moving them into the left-hand nav as well, and giving apps more of their screen real estate back, specifically to provide experiences. And then probably a really big one that we've heard from the community a lot is allow apps to break out into what we call full screen mode through the AppBridge full screen mode action, such that they can leverage the full canvas available to them when they need to create complex experiences. And we've seen for years our own Shopify apps like Shopify Flow and Shopify Email, you take advantage of this online store in their own designs. And so now that is available to our developer community as well. Additionally, we've released some opt-in improvements to make loading apps on mobile significantly faster. And so we encourage our developers to go out, make sure that you test their apps for that to make sure that they're compliant and they work specifically to that, and then flip that flag sort of in the partner dashboard and get access to those amazing speed improvements.
Awesome. So David, we also heard there are some new ways that Shopify is going to surface apps to merchants. Can you tell us or walk us through the Shopify App Store and other changes?
Yeah. So along with the program, there's been a few changes that you've seen. So you've seen a new app modal within the admin. So this is one of these really high converting services where Shopify recommends a number of apps to merchants. So in the actual admin now, you'll see that when you go searching for apps, that there's actually a recommended app modal in there that comes up and shows a series of recommended apps for merchants. So that's one. On the App Store itself, we've also introduced signifiers, which many of you have noticed as well, which denote various signals of quality around an app, around its speed, around how it's integrated into the admin, around whether it's using the latest technologies to integrate with our themes. And really above and beyond this, you're going to see continued sort of focus on personalization of the App Store during logged in states and things like that for merchants so that we can push them towards the apps that they need most, specifically along their journey.
That's awesome. So how will merchants know which app are the best?
Yeah. I mean, knowing which app is the best is obviously like a combination of multiple things, right? There's not one specific thing that we do within our app store that sort of like points that out, but there's always ratings and relevancy within our searches that are really important to that. And again, as I talked about a little bit briefly earlier, is sort of this introduction into things like signifiers, as we call them, on the app the app's details page. So that describe its performance, right? What are the Lighthouse scores like? Does it have a performance impact? Which is a question our merchants are constantly asking. Is this app going to affect the performance of my online store? How it works with online stores, is it using the latest themes? And is that app embedded specifically in that? So merchants can look onto those app index pages to start to get some signals about like how those apps. Now, in the future, we'll look to potentially add more of those in the future and adjust the ones that we actually have there based on what's most valuable to our merchants in helping them make decisions.
That makes sense. So for developers, how well they know what they need to do to make sure their apps are eligible?
Yeah, great question. So if you go to shopify.dev, click on apps, and then go into the Shopify App Store section, there's a new section in there called Getting Featured that has been updated to describe a lot of what I just talked about there, what Shopify looks at for all of these things, and like how we consider getting featured. The best and probably most important thing I could ask developers to do is to read the Shopify app design guidelines and start making the changes to your app to align to those. As apps, as we move forward, we'll start reviewing apps against those guidelines. And when apps are found to meet those guidelines, that will again cause even more preferential sort of like treatment on various surface areas so that we can recommend those apps to our merchants. Great. I don't want to take up too much time on here. So DC, Molly, Ben, thank you for this great conversation. But let's switch to the AMA now and answer some questions directly from the community rather than the ones that we're asking ourselves here. I know there's a lot that have been submitted, so let's get started and kick it off with the first question. Let me see here. Should be popping up on screen any second. Okay, great. First question. From Brecht. It would be great if you could handle content translations inside the admin instead of within an app. What's coming on the roadmap for this? So I can take this one. We're working on a first-party translation app that will be fairly well integrated throughout the admin. This feature will be generally available in the fall. The product team is definitely open to hearing feedback from developers who might want early access. So check into our Shopify communities forum post, which we'll do later. Next question. Because of the embedded factor, the App Store is putting poor apps, very low rating, above old trusted apps published for years. Can Shopify revert back to the old version? So at Editions, we shared how we're evolving sort of the platform with Built for Shopify to make it easier for high quality apps to get in front of Shopify merchants. So this included updating our search and ranking algorithms that take into account more factors than they had before. App rating, relevancy, install is still a huge part of this, but it now includes things like Lighthouse score, whether that app it works seamlessly with all of the Shopify admin, its proven usefulness, speed, and that. So I encourage all of the partners to visit those getting featured pages within Shopify.dev, which is where we have publicly shared criteria to use and to be featured across Shopify. Okay, next. Will the B2B feature get rolled out to all of the plans once it's out of beta? Let me just see here. I can take that one. So right now, we've only announced plans to make B2B available to the Plus merchant community, so we're not making any further announcements after the beta is over. The B2B is actually rolling out as we speak to the Plus merchant community. But nothing to announce right now about wider availability to more plans. Okay, next. Ben, probably over to you. Are you planning to store Hydrogen setup in the admin like Shopify themes?
Yeah, so this is it sort of depends on what's loaded into that question, because as you all know, there's a lot that interact both with themes and the admin. I think overall, we want to make Hydrogen, as I said, a first-class way to launch custom storefronts. And so as of last Wednesday, if you go, you can actually add the Hydrogen channel and create and deploy storefronts right from the admin, and you get to see things like your performance scores, how many requests you're doing, logs. You can have multiple storefronts, this sort of thing as well. So that already is right in the admin. In terms of further things like online store editor and that side of things, that's certainly not off the table, but a little bit further down the road. And so, yeah, so short answer, yes, but lots of ways that Liquid interacts with the admin.
Great. Molly, I think this next one's for you from Jameen. Are the new checkout UI extensions for Plus merchants only or for other Shopify merchants as well?
Yeah, so all partners can build apps with checkout UI extensions. However, the extensions will only be available to Shopify Plus merchants. We're working on make the visibility of Plus only features or capabilities in their apps clear for the merchants, including making the App Store more plan aware to tailor the experience better to log in merchants browsing the store.
Great. David, up next, DC. When will Shopify functions be rolled out live to all Shopify stores?
Yeah, so we're in developer preview right now. And so developers are able to go and build discount apps immediately by enabling the checkout extensibility developer preview. And we'll be announcing shortly more when that will move out of developer preview and be available to all plans. So nothing to announce at this point, but look forward to see more announcements soon.
Okay, great. Next up from Max, are we going to be able to edit meta fields in bulk? Meta fields have improved recently, but I don't understand why bulk editing relies on paid apps. Let me just see. I'll take this one. So we're in the midst of supporting editing meta fields with definitions in the bulk editor currently. That's for product meta fields on a single shop. Partners can still update product and variant meta fields with definitions in the bulk editor if they've add the namespace keys and the edit param. It's been this in production for a while. We're looking to support saving and validation functionality this cycle. And in terms of timelines, we're targeting Q4 for the start of our rollout, but that's a bit subject to change, obviously, as we work on developing some things. So great. Is there any, from Roby, is there any consideration for a Shopify partners suggestion box where we can make our suggestions to Shopify's core features? We face merchants more than anybody. That's a really interesting idea. We're always looking for new ways to hear from our partners. And we'll share some more if we add new spaces to leave suggestions for our teams in the future. But that's a really interesting idea for me. Muthu, can I develop an app for checkout UI extensions now and get approval, or do I have to wait until the public release in September, October of 2022? Molly, you want to take that one?
Yeah, of course. So checkout extensions will be available in live stores at the end of September. Shopify will begin the reviewing process for new app submissions for pre-approval as we approach this milestone of end of September. Right now, we are targeting the beginning of September to opening the pre-approval process. The exact date will be announced at a later time, so keep an eye out for that. Just note that any app submission prior to the opening date, sometime in early September, will be rejected. So we will be announced the particular date soon, so keep an eye out for that date.
Great. Ben, I think this next one's for you. Hydrogen can be set up with tools like Sanity, but will Shopify expand its own CMS capabilities so we can structure data more flexibly using metafields, perhaps?
Yeah, if you had a keen eye last year's Unite, we did show off how content was coming. It's in closed beta right now. But some really exciting stuff there happening with content. We're working really closely with partners like Contentful and Sanity as well, and want to play well with all of them. There's lots of great use cases for those partners too. But we are developing some content stuff. If that's of note, definitely stay tuned. It should be happening soon. I don't have a firm date for you, but yeah, keep your eyes open. All based on the same sort of primitives that we've been talking about for a while now, meta fields and meta objects and things like this.
Great. Anonymous question up next. Molly, maybe you could handle this one. It doesn't look like Pixels work with the new checkout customizations. Any plans, or will this be supported soon?
Yeah, so right now, Pixels have a set of standard events that they can track within checkout. And we're currently working on an approach to allow developers to publish custom events from checkout UI extensions so that we can track these checkout customizations. And we expect to release this feature sometime during the developer preview period.
Great. Next question. Any estimate on when the new B2B backend could be available? So I previously answered some questions about general availability of B2B, which is rolling out now. But specifically, if we're talking about the APIs here, the new updated B2B APIs that are currently available in the unstable branch. So you can start testing and integrating with your apps. Our stable release is planned for the October branch of the API. And you can sign up to be notified of that by visiting Additions Dev Mode when that's will be available. When will the admin API be accessible within the storefront without adding additional hops due to the CORS policy? Ben, I don't know if you're probably.
Great question. So would probably want to dig into some follow-ups on what types of resources you're trying to access through the admin API. Generally, as far as it relates to this querying on the storefront, we do want to stick to the storefront API because sometimes that token does get exposed to the client and you want to make sure that that's secure. There's a lot of work that we're doing on the storefront API itself and investing a lot there. So please do reach out. I mean, I'm personally available both on Hydrogen's GitHub and in our Discord. And chime in. We're working on that right now. Would love to know what you're trying to do with the storefront via admin API that you're not able to currently, and see what we can do there. But you know, want to bring the best of those worlds to each place, but probably don't want to be using the admin API on the storefront more generally.
Okay, great. DC, over to you. What other parts of the web experience can functions be used for outside of the current checkout use cases?
It's a good question. I think there's still a fair bit of opportunity in the checkout space just because of the need for both the flexibility and performance. And so I'd imagine that like for the next little while, you'll see more enhancements in high critical buyer checkout flows, which are usually related to checkout. But I would imagine that, you know, there's a whole host of opportunity, and we're just getting started really here with Shopify Functions. Any place where there's a decision to be made on whether or not something should show or hide, or the order of things, or an algorithm like which location will fulfill an order from. I think there's just a lot of kind of opportunity, and really looking for community input on what are the biggest needs here in terms of extensibility. So we have a number of things that are planned internally, but really opening up to those that are working closely with our merchants and understand their needs to definitely share that with us and the product teams.
Okay, great. We're going to answer one more question here, and this time we're going to turn to social. So we've got one that's come in from Twitter. So Ryan from Twitter asks, would you advise implementing the new checkout updates for startup businesses, or do you think these would make the selling process a little bit too complicated? So Molly, I don't know if you want to take this one. I mean, I can also weigh in on this as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think right now in develop preview, we would encourage our developers, including start businesses, to try out our checkout extensibility offerings. I think this is a great opportunity for you guys to help out our Plus merchants who have a lot of buyer traffic going through them using Shopify checkout. And David, if you want to add anything to my answer, feel free to.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would just say there is that, like, look, the use cases for checkout and what people need is incredibly varied, right? And so it's really hard to pin that. And so regardless of the state of a business, they may need functionality or customizations that you can offer them as a partner, regardless of what size they are or where they are in their journey. If they're a startup that's on Plus, that's just getting started, for sure, they can use some of that functionality. Okay. First off, thanks everybody for the great conversation. I know we couldn't get to all of the questions, but please jump into the community forums and we'll share more answers to some of those questions there. we are very excited to see what each one of you builds with the new capabilities that we've announced at this editions. I can't wait personally to see it, to see the amazing things that come out and the success that it enables for our merchants. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you're as excited as we are with these updates, and we can't wait to see what you build in response. Keep the conversation going in our partner Slack and developer Discord communities. And just one more thing, we're excited to be bringing Shopify Unite back in a whole new way. This fall, we'll be hosting events around the world. Details on locations and times to come. Till next time.